The hustle doesn't have to hurt. If performance pressure is making it hard to breathe, Grow Therapy helps you navigate stress, set boundaries, and actually feel like yourself again. Whether it's your first time in therapy or your 50th, Grow makes it easier to find a therapist who fits you, not the other way around. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Grow accepts over 100 insurance plans, including Medicaid in some states. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/start now to get started. That's growtherapy.com/start now. growtherapy.com/start now. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Over 90 of the top 100 U.S. accounting firms trust Bill to handle bill pay processes. Why? Because our tools are built on over $1 trillion of secure payments. We're not just moving money. We're powering financial workflows for 500,000 customers. That's a level of expertise you just can't fake. Ready to talk with an expert? Visit Bill.com/proven to get started and grab a $250 gift card as a thank you. Terms and conditions apply. See offer page for details.
Welcome to episode 105 of Winging It. Nil-Nil for real.
It's good.
That is very good, actually.
Thank you. But before we get into talking about boring, scoreless draws, I've got Albert, got Hesketh.
Hello.
Two of us have very early alarms in the morning.
What we do. Do you have an early alarm, Albert? You might have an early alarm.
Yeah, three of us. To be honest, I thought you were talking about me already.
No, me and Hesketh will be heading to Cyprus in the morning.
Yeah, we will.
Gluttons for punishments.
What time is your alarm set?
5 for me.
6 for me.
Fucking hell, part-time.
I did asterisk it to Terence before we started recording by saying it's early for me, but I don't have kids, so I get it.
What time's your flight?
Mine's at 9:30.
Mine's at 10, I think, or 10:30.
You've set your alarm for 6?
What's wrong with that?
Well, we know you're nervous. Get there 8 hours early type.
Yeah, you know. It's because I'm so excited to go and see Palace eke out a 0-0 draw.
Yeah. Are you packing some like controversial items in the hope that they don't let you get on the plane and you can claim it was all some big misunderstanding?
Yeah. I tried my best.
I'm not sure if my sister's trolling me, but she's packed an actual alarm clock to bring.
Yeah, she's
taking
trolling
any
you.
chances.
Yeah, she's trolling, mate.
Yes. It's been a busy weekend for me, though. There was a lot more just the Leeds going on. I went to Harry Potter World. Took my daughter for her 6th birthday. And when Albert found out I was going, without any further clues, he just said, "Oh, you got to find my wand box," which I thought was a euphemism.
Not again.
I'm not going anywhere near that. But it turns out there is an actual wand box there.
Well, there's several hundred.
There's several hundred, yeah.
Yeah. One of them's mine.
It is. You walk into this massive room at the end, which is done like a wand shop, like Oliveira's. And there's wand boxes everywhere with names on. I was like, oh, this is what he meant by find my wand box. Like, you'll know when you see it. And I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to find it in here? There's hundreds of them. But it turns out that someone will help you who's got a little booklet that tells him where everyone's is.
What did you say?
I'm going to be really obtuse here because I've never read nor seen any Harry Potter or anything. Did you get a wand box because you worked on it? And what is a wand box?
Everyone got one who worked on it.
Oh, okay.
So a wand box, you get all wands come in a box. Like when you buy your wand, it comes in a box.
Gotcha.
These were like boxes on a shelf, and on the end of each box was the name.
Got it. And that means you're a wizard.
Can't tell you, mate.
Okay. Should take it with you if you're a wizard, shouldn't you? Shouldn't be leaving it. Oh, you are.
No, it's a nice touch. Anybody who worked on any of the films in any role, there's a big thing at the end, and you have your name on a little one box. It's a nice touch. The problem is I can never remember where it is. People say, "Where is it?" Don't know. It's in there somewhere.
He's a wizard sleeve, that's for sure. If you just when you go in the room on the left, it's like bottom row, second container in. You're right at the top in the middle. Matthew Albert's Curly.
Top in the middle. There you go. Similar place to my position on this podcast.
But when I did ask the guy, I was like, we're going to find out if he's actually telling the truth now that he did work on this film, or he's always been lying.
He's just padding his IMDb. And no one's found out.
But yes, very good. And my daughter thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed spending £8 on a couple of thimbles of cream soda passed off as butterbeer as well.
Grim. How much did you do in the gift shop?
I'd rather not say.
Hesketh, check the account. Check the Winging It account, will you?
There goes that sponsorship.
All in all, the day probably done us for about £500, I reckon.
You know, I get a percentage on that.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're getting something.
That's what the one box system is. If you go in and you ask for someone, they go, okay, 10%. Early.
Brilliant. And then got a lovely voice note today from one of the mums at my kid's school. She's like, oh, we were collecting our son earlier, and as we were walking past the playground, it's like, oh, look, there's Ellis. Of course he's playing football. And then the guy's son was like, is he playing football though? And they like look closer, and because there was no ball in the nursery, he screwed up some paper to make a ball. He's kicking paper around to play football, which I think is a bit like when you hear about Brazilian kids playing in the favelas, making it. This is the same thing, basically.
Basically, yeah.
The Croydon favelas.
What's his crossing like?
I would say better than Brendan Johnson's.
Oh, that's not what I was alluding to at all.
I think it might have been. But then on Saturday, so Leeds, as we'll talk about later, ended up being my 1,000th football match I've been to. And
congrats.
It was supposed to be Larnaca, except on Saturday, my son discovered that Bristol Rovers, who his godfather supports, were playing at Bromley. And he's obsessed with the scores apps. And he said, is Bromley in England? Well, Bromley's actually very, very close to here. And he was like, can we go? So I went to Bromley. My God, it's changed there. When was the last time we went there? When Bamford scored a hat-trick? Roughly. We've probably been there a couple of times since then. Maybe I just haven't gone. But yeah, I mean, they've won again tonight. They're top of the league. They're going to get promoted to League One, which is mental in itself. But yeah, the grounds there are now really good. They've built a humongous pub on the back of the ground, effectively, which is open before games to watch games. After, we stayed after and watched the first half of Arsenal against Everton. Yeah, really worth a trip down there at the moment, and they're completely selling it out as well. 6,000-ish.
Nice.
So might be playing Bromley in a couple of years.
Wow, I'm more concerned that Ellis has asked to go.
He's just utterly obsessed with football, hence Cedar playing with a screwed up piece of paper story. So
cheaper day out than the Harry Potter Museum, I imagine.
Bromley?
Yeah.
Just about. When you stay for an hour and a bit after, it gets a little bit expensive. But yes, recommend Bromley. And it was nice to see Kofi Barmer playing Bristol Rovers. in the opposition. And Tom Lockyer as well, playing for Bristol Rovers.
The Luton guy.
The Luton guy, yeah. So he went to Luton from Bristol Rovers. He might have gone somewhere in between. But yeah, he's gone back there now and definitely looks like he's played Premier League football versus everyone else on the field. I think Bromley had a centre-back who I think is about 6'9". They are a very, very physical team. It was very, very long ball. But yeah, good day out.
Sounds quite appealing.
I'm trying to do anything but talk about Larnaca at home, to be honest, and Leeds at home.
Should we talk about Larnaca away?
Well, we can, but we'll do it whilst talking about Larnaca at home as well, which was, I went out at lunchtime when I was at work on the day of the game and nearly got blown off my feet in Paddington Basin. And I was like, this does not bode well for this evening. And turned out to be right. Really, really windy, very, very rainy, tough playing conditions.
Oh, you're talking about the weather. I thought you... Right.
But at the same time, but we probably created more than enough chances to win that game a couple of times over.
Yeah, the goalies, whilst they're not, amazing world-class saves for the cameras, the goalies saved, made several quite decent saves. I think there's like the Tyrick Mitchell chance. No disrespect to Tyrick Mitchell, you don't want that chance falling to, your left wing back. You want that chance falling to one of the more sort of attacking minded, creative players. But yeah, look, was I happy with the overall performance? No, and I'm glad I couldn't make it in the end. But on another night, we could have nicked that 1 or 2-0. They frustrated us, but I wouldn't say they necessarily threatened at all. That would be my condensed version.
Hesketh, it was like there was a guess and one earlier as well when good cross from Strand Larsen, and anywhere else at the goal, it's a goal.
Yeah.
So it's a far cry from what Leeds was that we'll get into, but it's just, and as we found out after, Larnaca have only conceded 1 goal in 7 games in this tournament, which seems to suggest their goal was living a charmed life.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. Well, I mean, I could believe it in the sense that the 2 games we played against them, as you say, has lived a bit of a charmed life, but they spend a lot of their time blocking out completely defensively. So, in that way, I can see it. Just when Albert was talking, though, I was actually trying to think back to what actually happened in the game, because everything's just merged into one grey ball of dross in my head at the moment of the last 2 games. Remember the referee being absolutely awful. I know this is sort of a running theme most weeks, but I thought he was particularly bad, and there was a lot of rolling around and time wasting and stuff, which pisses me off in the first place. But obviously, when you're being frustrated on the pitch, you don't want to see that. That just aggravates everything, doesn't it? So yeah, that was very irritating.
For a grand total of 4 minutes stoppage time in the game at the end of the first half, 1 minute, 3 minutes at the end of the game. Which I think there was obviously a lot of boos at full time, which the press tried to play off like we were booing the team, which we wasn't. It was the referee. The referee was getting booed. But yeah, it was like, I want to say, bought into the underdog, or the Larnaca battle, but he allowed them to be very robust, and we just Larnaca get away of being very late on our players, where the moment we breathed on someone, it was a free kick. And I think Wharton talked about the frustrations afterwards about how he's saying you can't even tackle anyone because they just go down and they give a free kick immediately.
Yeah, and I think we don't know. Obviously, he wouldn't say it's done on purpose, but it did feel like, and it's mad that we're the bigger team in this, but it did feel like it was like they get a lot more grace off of him than we did. But I mean, it still shouldn't overshadow it. Yes, I think we're the better team, but I still think it was a pretty turgid performance, to be honest. little did I know that even worse was to come a few days later. But I think it's just one of those where if we'd have come away with even a 1-0 win in that first leg, then that would make Thursday a bit easier because you would think at some point they'd have to come out a bit more. But I still did get the fear that near the end when they got a couple of set pieces, I was like, oh, this is it. This is where they get their bloody goal. So at least we stopped that from happening. Which was
right at the end, Chris Richards made a brilliant clearing header from a corner, because if he hadn't got his head in it, we would have been 1-0 Larnaca all over again. And then they wouldn't have had to come out. But I debate if they do have to come out in the second leg, why not just do the same again and see if they can get it to penalties?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the thing I was going to say. If it was 1-0, probably they'd have the same game plan. But then as it got on, they'd have to come out a bit. Whereas now, play as they have been, and then if they get a set piece goal or something even, then, we've obviously shown we struggle to play against that sort of block and that kind of system. So they're probably quite confident that if they go 1-0 up on Thursday, they can see it out. And I don't blame them for thinking that way at all.
How did you feel about the Glasner's approach to the substitutions in the second half?
Deep sigh.
Deep sigh, yeah. I'm trying to remember who they were.
Well, you had Mateta for Strand Larsen on 77, and then you had Johnson off for Pino on 88.
Yeah. And I think it was all a bit too... Mateta, I can see why you'd bring Mateta on, especially with Leeds in mind for Strand Larsen. Like, don't want to run him in the ground too much, wanting to play against Leeds as well. Feel like Pino should have happened for Brendan Johnson a lot sooner, just to try and just do something different, try and he's the sort of Pino is the sort of player who can beat a man and so on, and maybe he could make something different happen. But yeah,
I mean, there's also similar questions. There's also similar. I'd ask the same questions of the Leeds game, but in those games, do you think the sort of the reluctance to move away from the three at the back thing is, again, copy and paste Leeds in terms of the question, but it does feel like, yes, they're trying to hit us on the break, but primarily they're just trying to shut us out. So it feels like there's definitely a slight structural change there that could be made just to try and overload them up the other end a bit, whilst remaining fairly solid. We're not, we're not like calamitous defenders at the moment. The players know, and ultimately they've come for the draw. But
yeah, I think I agree. We'll probably talk about it with the Leeds game as well. We just don't need to play three centre backs in that sort of game. We just don't need to do it. And I think if you have two centre backs and they're Lacroix and Richards, I think you're fine. You've got enough pace between the two of them. If there are breaks, they can cover that. They're strong. They're good in the air. I think we'll be absolutely fine. I guess I don't know if Glasner said it outright, but his thinking was more like, it's just the first leg, so you don't want to go gung ho and then leave yourself with a mountain to climb in the second leg. But I still think he should have switched it up. Maybe go two up front, or just try something different, And I think the thing that frustrated me was before the Mostar away leg, he said, we trained during the week with four at the back and it just didn't work, so we're not going to do it. But I've just seen how many games in the last month or so where we've seen us play five at the back and it hasn't worked in a match. So you might as well do something different because, against Forest with 10 men, we couldn't do anything. We looked crap. Against Wolves, we looked crap until we scored the goal, which was a sort of out of nowhere. Against Leeds with 10 men, we look crap. Against Larnaca, defending deep, we look crap. So I don't think he should be wedded to it. And, he said in previous months before it all went downhill, I'm not wedded to this system. It's just what it works best for us. And it's like, well, I don't think it does at the moment. And I don't really see the proof that sticking with it is the way to go, because it looks so, we just don't have any ideas about how to break teams down. And passing the ball between three centre-backs for fucking half the game is not the answer. That was a really long rant.
I also think when you don't have Daniel Munoz available, which obviously has been the case since Tottenham, and you're playing teams that are coming and playing with a low block, like Daniel Munoz is so vital to Glasner's preferred system working. When you haven't got him available, if that's not the time to maybe try two centre halves and play a proper back four and put a bit more onus on scoring, then you're never going to do it. And it's just like you say. He says he's not wedded to it, but it seems we are.
Yeah, I agree with what you've both said. It's just he did say, Glasner, that we've tried a 4 in training for a week and it didn't work out so well. I don't see how that can be the case. Everyone must know how to play 4-2-3-1. It's like everyone's been playing that formation forever. And it just utterly seems to suit the players we have at the moment, in terms of it would make total sense to play that formation. And especially in these positions, you want width. You want natural width is what's going to help you break down teams that sit in, because that's how you can stretch them. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk more about that in the Leeds game. But yeah, it's very frustrating. But I just see us going to Larnaca and playing three at the back again, to be honest.
Yep.
But yeah, I said a couple of weeks ago, it seemed to be getting baby steps in the right direction. But again, you strip Munoz out of it, as you've said, Albert, and it's just looks shit again. And yeah, Brendan Johnson ended up going back there and filling in for it, which is obviously him trying to be a bit more attacking. He's not put Klein there. He's tried to, throw something in there, but still it isn't quite working out for Brendan Johnson at the moment. So I don't know. But we are heading to Cyprus in the morning, Hesketh.
Oh yeah, sorry, as I'm yawning
away. And we're going to have to get a goal. And we probably want to get it as early as possible, really, to just try and, really make them have to come out and then try and pick them off. But
Hi, this is Pablo Torre from Pablo Torre Finds Out, and today I want to talk to you about Boost Mobile, because we spend a lot of time analyzing inefficiencies in sports, overvalued contracts, money tied up in the wrong places, and so on. But those inefficiencies aren't just on a roster. Sometimes they're in your own monthly expenses. Boost Mobile says switching to their $25 unlimited forever plan can unlock up to $600 in savings a year. That's $25 a month for unlimited data, talk, and text when you bring your own phone. If that money is trapped in a pricey phone bill, it might be worth a second look. Visit boostmobile.com to learn more. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers pay $25 per month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. Savings claim based on a January 2026 Boost Mobile survey of 1,000 Americans with single-line unlimited plans, comparing average annual payments of major carriers to 12 months on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
The hustle doesn't have to hurt. If performance pressure is making it hard to breathe, Grow Therapy helps you navigate stress, set boundaries, and actually feel like yourself again. Whether it's your first time in therapy or your 50th, Grow makes it easier to find a therapist who fits you, not the other way around. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Grow accepts over 100 insurance plans, including Medicaid in some states. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/start now to get started. That's growtherapy.com/start now. growtherapy.com/start now. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Do you see a change, or do you just think you can already name the lineup right now?
Yeah, I don't think we'll have a change in system at all. I would imagine he'll just have Wharton and Kamada in midfield, which will be the change there. Hopefully Henderson's feeling better, because I think he was ill. He had a fever or something, which feels like he should be okay. But then I think he'll play Ghassan Sarr and Strand Larsen. So yeah, I'd be surprised if it's a different team.
Yeah. Okay. What do you reckon, Albert? Are we wasting our time going out there, or are we going to do it?
I'm gonna say that we're gonna do it. It's just how painful it's going to be.
We're going to do it, but it's still wasting your time.
Yeah, it's not. It's and under different circumstances, I'd love to be going with you, but we seem to find a way to scrape through. It's just, has our luck run out there? You know, Larnaca aren't great, but they're just stubborn, and you know, bodies on the line, etc., and say their goalie had, I won't call it an inspired performance last week, but he had a good performance and did enough to deny our sort of half and semi decent chances. So I think we just have to. We all knew that in this competition we'd be facing, and no one can see me doing the inverted commas, inferior teams, and we knew that their game plan would be to sort of stifle and snuff us out and try and catch on the break and low block, and you know, it's something that Glasner mentioned early on in the sort of campaign. But I think the thing that I'm finding ever more frustrating is that at the beginning you can say, well, this is going to happen and we're not used to this, but you know, we've seen that game enough now to try and have a plan B, or certainly an effective plan B. Obviously it helps that Mateta's back, and that, you know, that means at least we've got another option up front, or heaven forbid the ability to go two up front, which, you know, if we're still 0-0, or again, heaven forbid, 1-0 down on 60 minutes, you know, you have to throw the kitchen sink at it in that situation. You know, we have to win tomorrow. No one wants it to go to penalties. That's just going to be fucking grim, particularly for you lot. So yeah, we've just got to find something that clicks.
Yes, I think the problem we're going to start seeing more and more as well is that Strand Larsen is definitely we've talked about it based on the videos that we saw from Wolves, is that he thrives off service, and I really think he's Leeds, as we'll get into, great energy again, really trying to work for the team, but never really looking like getting in a position to score because no one's providing him with any service of note. But I think he really did play well against Leeds.
Can I just jump in? This has nothing to do with Leeds.
I know what you're going to say. This is fucking bananas.
It is bananas. Is it Ismail Assar related?
It is, yes.
The Confederation of African Football Appeal Board have stripped Senegal of the AFCON title, awarded a 3-0 win to Morocco, and given Morocco the championship title. That is insane. And I don't acknowledge it.
I was on mute. Sorry. What the fuck?
Yeah.
They're saying when they walked off the field, they forfeited the match, effectively, is what they're saying. I
just got a text off a friend of the pod, Francesca, who said, "Poor Sarr, that is farcical." And I was like, oh, what's he done? And his Instagram is just him doing loads of laugh emojis. And I guess they've been stripped of the AFCON title, which is absolutely insane.
But this is also, this is nonsense anyway, in the sense that they won the game. Everybody knows they won the game. The players celebrated it. They've already done the open bus. That's the whole thing about winning a trophy. You can't go back retrospectively and start saying that Morocco have actually won it, because no one thinks that, no one cares. Write down what you want in the record books, but all the players have experienced it. So phoning up Ismail Assar, can you please put your medal in the post and return it? Get fucked. I lost it. You can't have it back because I lost it or something. It's just so stupid.
That is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, literally loads of messages are just pouring through on my phone. And people have been like, what is going on?
Finally, by the way, this happens during us recording the podcast and not 20 minutes after we finished.
Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, that's just nonsense. And also, I think you find that Mane was on the pitch the entire time. He never left. So surely they should be arguing that we had a player on the field.
Yeah.
He was there.
That is, and it's taken that long. It's like, what can we? It's like, how's it taken that long to come to that ruling? Not that I agree with it, even if they mentioned it the next day. That is fucking shocking.
So from one shocking outcome to another, Palace 0, Leeds 0, and I mean, whilst the game was awful for many reasons.
Correct.
It kind of had a lot of mental flashpoints in it. And my favourite one, I think, was Benitez just casually catching the ball on his goal line when there was only about 3 millimeters of the ball not over the line.
It was so cash as well. We were all looking at each other like, sort of waiting for the ref to point to his watch and give the goal. We're like, fucking hell, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, he was very much in the goal. And yeah, when I watched it at home and when I saw it, I was like, fucking hell. And then, got away with that one.
Yeah, because he wasn't until he took the step back. It was just weird. It's just really, really weird.
Just keeping us on our toes.
I was... Obviously, I should know this because I watch every game, but I was kind of surprised it was his Premier League debut because he has had a handful of games.
Yeah.
I was like, well, surely one of them must have been in the Prem. But other than that, his performance was fine, wasn't it? It wasn't like, he's a proper keeper, isn't he? It's not like...
Remy.
Yes.
Much as we love Remy Matthews.
Okay, so... Leeds had a couple of chances, half chances, never looked like scoring, dragged the shot wide. I think Calvert-Lewin had a header that was comfortably saved by Benitez. But then they get the penalty out of nowhere, which I was like, how can the ref be so sure, like just straight off and blowing the whistle away until I saw the video footage back and I was just like, oh,
that's a pen.
Oh.
Yeah,
Turns out it was a genius move from Will Hughes because the guy would have got his head on it otherwise and maybe scored. So
it was 4D chess. Yeah, I said exactly the same at the time. I was like, how the fuck does he know whose hand it hit? And then my mate, who I stand with, who has like the best service on the planet, showed us the replay straight away, and we were like, okay, never mind, carry on.
Carry on. Yeah. Yeah, crazy, really, that his arm was up there. But then Benitez goes the wrong way, but Calvert-Lewin drags it wide to mass hysteria amongst our centre-backs who almost climbed in the homestyle, punching in the air in celebration. What did you think about the penalty, Albert?
It's great. If only they could all be like that against us. Definite penalty. Right decision. Just glad he fucking spooned it.
Is that 3 Premier League games in a row that we've faced a penalty now? Would be, right? Leeds, United,
Tottenham.
Wolves. Oh, Tottenham Spurs we did. That's in there, isn't it?
Tottenham ruining everything.
Letting us score bloody goals.
Yeah. Refusing to defend against us. Very stupid. But yeah, so didn't go in. But then we get the multiple red card situations. There's 3 of them. I was leaving to go back to get a beer at half time when Sarr gets taken out in front of the dugouts by the player by one of the players who's on the yellow card. Watching on TV, Albert, do you think that's a second yellow or not?
Yes, I do. Taking my Palace specs off, I still think it's just about, yeah.
Yeah, I was very, very sure that it should have been, watching it as I was walking up the stairs over my shoulder. When I saw the replay back, I was kind of a bit more like, oh, it isn't as clear cut as I thought that it was, because Sarr doesn't touch the ball at all and sort of watch it goes by. And I don't know how much Strand Larsen helped the situation by just stopping completely, refusing, not chasing the ball and just running straight at the ref. Where it felt like the ref kind of felt like he was trying to be goaded into giving it a little bit. Where maybe if he would have just stood, like, we would have carried on trying to play, saw that Strand Larsen was getting close to the ball, and then maybe gone, oh, I probably have to go back, let VAR start chatting in his ear and stuff like that. Yeah. But I think it probably just about should be a yellow card. Yellow card. But then I would say he gets to make amends. But Hesketh, do you think there's any way he pulls out that second yellow if he realises he's booked him already?
No, absolutely not. And the whole thing was so weird. My mate was like, oh, he's gone. And I was like, oh, he's booked him. And hasn't he been booked before? And I was like, well, I thought he had, but he can't have been because he's just booked him. And then you sort of see everyone, all the Palace players are sort of pointing at him and remonstrating. And then he obviously realises. But yeah, I don't think he would have booked him if he knew. I mean, he should fucking know because he booked him in the first place. So, and you write it down, so he should know. But yeah, I don't think he would have if he'd have remembered.
Yeah, but that's look, we can pick apart the rules of football, but he's on a yellow card. So the whole, well, if he wasn't on one, would he have given? It's, we should, and I'm not saying this is what we have in our day-to-day footballing experience. A yellow card should be a yellow card, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind getting like a final warning before you get your first yellow, or like, this is your last one. Like, I totally get that. But once you're on a yellow card, right? If you that is your final warning, no? Surely.
I mean, I agree with that. I think, yeah, a yellow card. It's like, when someone does a really bad foul in the second minute and they're like, oh, it's only the second minute. It's like, well, it's still a foul. That being said, Brennan Johnson got away with doing quite a lot 100%. Of fouls.
That should have been. Brennan Johnson should have walked for a second yellow.
Before we move on to Brennan Johnson, we're going to stay on Brennan Johnson, but I think part of why it definitely had to be a second yellow for the Leeds player who did get sent off is that the probably more criminal thing from the ref is that he didn't allow play on.
Yeah.
Now, it was Brennan Johnson bursting through, so maybe that could have been his moment.
Yeah, he could have sorted it out from the goal kick that was imminent. Natural breaking play. Yeah.
But in Brennan Johnson, the Brennan Johnson second yellow, question one, he does try to pull out the challenge, and he slides a bit into him, but with his knees, like not his legs, because he's pulled out the tackle. But if that was happening to a Palace player, I would be absolutely fuming.
Yeah,
he's not been sent off.
I mean, Brennan Johnson should have got a second yellow for some of his crossing, let alone.
Do you know what? I thought for the first 20 minutes, Brennan Johnson played really well. He put in a couple of really good tackles, put in a couple of crosses. I thought he did really, really well. But then, and again, when we signed him, Spurs fans and Forest fans said the same thing. Like, he disappears from games. Then I forgot that he was on the pitch till he started taking corners in front of us. And then I wish I'd forgotten it.
Wish he'd forgotten he was on the pitch.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. He doesn't like dictate play in any way, and then you don't notice him necessarily in the sort of general phases of play, and then when the spotlight's on him, i.e. you're 1-on-1 with someone, or you're taking a corner, or you're having the ball laid off for a cross, invariably it doesn't go well, and it's a terrible combination. Like, Gessan's had some sort of up and down games, but you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to move between the lines. He's trying to get involved. Might fuck it up, but he's trying to affect play and kind of showing for it a bit more. And that buys you a lot of leeway with fans. Particularly Palace fans. We want players that are trying to do that. Like I say, the problem is Brennan Johnson, and maybe doesn't like playing. Doesn't like playing in that wing back position. I don't know, but he doesn't seem to affect things or want to affect things. And then when he does get, when the camera does zoom in on him because he's got the ball, it often leads to a bit of it's not for the lack of trying, I'm sure.
Yes. Now there was another moment of controversy when the red card did come out for Leeds, when JD Convo celebrated vigorously, which I loved it, to be honest. I don't know what people get so upset about, but there was a lot of upset people, Hesketh. Not just Leeds fans, Palace fans as well.
Yeah, well, I don't know why. I liked it. A lot of the time when things are going badly, people say, we don't have leaders and we haven't got these characters, and it's just all a bit dreary. I like a bit of that. Celebrate when they miss a penalty, celebrate when they have a guy sent off. Why shouldn't you celebrate? I mean, we didn't do it, but in theory, if the team you're playing are going one man down, that's a benefit to you and you're more likely to win. Now, obviously, as I said, this is Palace. So we didn't win, but I don't mind that celebrating at all. It's like I don't mind defenders celebrating when they make a really good block, because otherwise you're saying, well, the only thing you celebrate is when someone scores. So I'm fine with it. I like that it's rattled some Leeds fans, amongst other things, which I'm sure we'll touch on. And he's, 19? Just let him celebrate. Who cares?
It's excitable.
Yeah. I mean, there was fuck all else that was exciting in the game, so I might as well give him something.
Did he blow a kiss at the guy that got sent off? That's the only thing that would have made it better.
But it's, a lot of it as well comes from people won't want to. He's a young black man as well. How dare you? If that was Jamie Vardy, people would be like, "What a shit house!"
Yeah.
Where he's just a 19-year-old kid enjoying the game, and let him do it. Let him celebrate if he wants to. I just don't see why. I was really shocked to see there was a problem. There's loads of Leeds fans after. It was like full time being like, "Oh, celebrating a 0-0 draw against 10 men," blah blah blah, all that nonsense. But it's always funny when Leeds fans get rattled.
Yeah, rumours are he was so ecstatic because he thought we might go for it at the back, but he was let down.
Sorely mistaken.
There's not much more to talk about the game wise. I will say, who do you think had the most touches in the Leeds penalty area for Crystal Palace?
For Crystal Palace? Oh.
Yeah.
Who had the most touches in the Leeds area for Crystal Palace? Mateta.
No.
I don't know. Not Brennan Johnson.
Maxence Lacroix.
Oh, fucking hell. There you go. Albert has made a face akin to being given the most disappointing meal of his life.
Wow.
Yeah. Also,
that's terrible.
The first time since records began, like this level of data was being recorded in 2003, 2004, that teams had a red card in the first half and didn't face a shot on target in the entire game. It's the first time that's ever happened.
I mean, I feel like the nearest I thought we were to scoring was when their defender headed it just over the bar. So it's quite a good indication of how shit it was. The one thing I think we talked about this yesterday or the day before, Terence, but the one thing that was really, really noticeable in that second half, especially, quite apart from the fact that again, neither of the 10s were running into space, was that every ball that went to Mitchell was either straight to his feet or behind him. There was never a ball until Lerma played one near the end when he'd gone to centre half. There was never a ball for Ty to run onto and sort of just whip the ball in, which is, as everyone knows, that's the crosses that he's good at, when he just doesn't have time to think. He just has to get there and get the ball in.
Yeah.
It's just like you said about creating space. It's like, fucking stop passing it behind him. Stop passing it straight to him so he has to stop to get the ball. Yeah. It doesn't make that sort of thing, systems or formations, that doesn't matter. Like, come on, you got to play the ball ahead of players to run onto, and we just weren't doing it.
Yeah, and just also in this scenario, in a game like that, when you got 10 men, and we saw it so many times with Wilf and Mitchell down the left, for example, and this is where, if we had Essay not out on loan, was on the pitch, you can bring him on for the last 10 minutes, tell him to just hug that touchline, and just let the two of them stretch the pitch. And then everyone else can get in the box, and you can get the balls into the box. And that way you're getting the best out of Essay as well. You're not asking him to do whatever you want him to do in his 10 role and, track back and counter press and all that. Just get him out on the flank doing what he should be doing. And I'm confident that if we could have brought Essay on with 20 minutes to go in that game, he would have made a difference and we could have got something out of it. But alas, he is at Coventry on loan. And
can I ask you a question? And I go on.
No,
what's happened to Justin Devaney?
He was injured, wasn't he? And he hasn't played at all since he was injured.
He was on the bench, wasn't he, on Sunday? But I don't know what you bring him on to do.
On the bench for the last two games.
But he's got now he's got so many attacking options, right? He's got 4 centre midfielders. He's got loads of attacking options up front. Devaney was only ever cover, and he ended up having to play a lot because he was needed as cover. But now we've got a lot more depth.
Uche not on the bench either. Was there something going on there?
Pateta's back, I think, is the only explanation there, isn't it, really?
Yeah. No, which is a bit sad from because we know Uche offers a bit of chaos factor when he comes on. A bit hit and miss, but did all right when he came on against Spurs.
None more chaotic than when he's doing the Lacroix celebration when Lacroix's not available.
And it looks like he's dislocated both of his arms.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to pull something.
Like Stretch Armstrong.
It's like he's trying to swat away a pesky fly.
Before we get into Glasner's post-match comments, the curse continues on our midfielders never scoring, because when we finally did get a good cross out of Brennan Johnson, it was from an offside position after getting the ball back from a corner. And even then, the keeper made the most ridiculous save from his first header to keep it out, but Lerma followed it in. But alas, Johnson was a tiny bit offside, which was a shame. But then,
well, I mean, poor old Lerma, he was the one who had a bullet header that was going straight into top corner against Forest before their defender punched it off the line. So he's really cursed.
Yes. Right, should we talk about Glasner's post-match comments then?
This is what Albert's been waiting for the last 45 minutes.
Nope.
Bobby Mancy asked Oliver Glasner about Crystal Palace's tradition of having maverick attackers. And he says, I'm sitting here because Crystal Palace were playing against getting relegated. Roy Hodgson was sitting here 1 year before. Crystal Palace were playing against getting relegated. If all these top stars you were talking about have been here, why are they always playing against getting relegated? Now, whilst I don't necessarily disagree with him, there's ways of saying things, right? And this is not the way of saying things, because it sounds like you're pissing on the traditions of the club, which is obviously not the way to approach things. And it is completely a fair question, I think, from Bobby Mancini to be like, we've always played with wingers here. When you're playing against low blocks or playing against 10 men, width is a good way to break teams down. But he's immediately just defensive and like, fuck Zaha, fuck Balassi, like, fuck Vince Hilaire, going all the way back. Like, you guys weren't winning anything.
Fuck Wayne Routledge. Marco Reich.
Nicky Rizzo.
Vasilis Lakis. Fuck them all.
Fuck Sean Scannell for diving in front of the home.
Terence is like, actually, fuck Sean Scannell, though.
Yeah, that's a fair one.
I read the comments and I'm still a bit like, it's just no need. There's just no need. And also, I think even if you say Maverick is someone that sort of creates something out of nothing, so not even necessarily a wide player. Well, Eze was one of them, and Elise was one of them. And it's like, oh, why were you fighting against relegation then? Well, I would say sometimes the Maverick is the one player that keeps you from doing that. But also, there are teams that are successful that have Maverick players. So, the Maverick player themselves is not an indication of whether a team's good or shit. Yeah. So I just feel like it's a bit like, I don't know, it's just being catty again. I don't see the need.
Yeah, and at first, when Roy Hodgson came back as well, we also annihilated teams left, right, and centre by playing Maverick players in wide positions. So, yeah, it's annoying, but it also just shows that we're unlikely to see anything change before he goes.
Yeah,
which I mean, could very, very much be if we don't beat Larnaca on Thursday night. If we go out the Conference League, given that it's them 3 weeks to our next game, might be a time that the change could happen.
Yeah, I mean, if they're not the comments of someone who is either detached or detaching, lots of they comments, never bodes well. It doesn't say Crystal Palace or us or the club. It's they. That's a bit of a sniff. That's a sniffy way of saying it. And yeah, look, the club have obviously made a judgment call over the last few weeks that we have a better chance in that competition with Oliver Glasner than without. If we don't qualify for the next round of that competition, yeah, I'm sure there'll be some serious conversations. I'm sure, and quite rightly, in my opinion.
But yeah, I just like, as long as Munoz is back within the next week, hopefully he's back Thursday and plays against Larnaca. But I think things will continue to get better. That especially then he's going to now have him 3 weeks on the training field effectively. I'm sure he'll have some time off, but if we beat Larnaca, it'll be 21 days into our next game. So he's going to have some real time to work with them. And, he's shown it in the past twice with us in seasons after poor runs that we can go on and just look basically unbeatable. So hopefully he can wave his magic wand and do that again, and we do end the season really strongly and win the Conference League and all of that jazz. But
how much do you believe that might happen? That's not me being cynical.
I do believe it in the sense that he's, evidence suggests that that's what he does, even when in the past he's done it when he's already announced that he's leaving the club or everyone known that he's leaving. So maybe he can do it even though he's leaving, and he can recreate that magic again. But Who knows?
Well, I hope you're right. Of course I do. Don't want to see it. Don't want to see the season fizzle out by any stretch. Obviously, want to progress to the next round, and want to, you still look. The mad thing is, you still look at the league table, and you're, even a run of 2 decent results. All of a sudden, we're back in the single-digit places. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is a weird season. You even look at Brighton, who are now really close to Europe again. Booing that manager a few weeks ago, and everyone was saying he's got to go, he's shit, all of that after we beat them. Again, they put a couple of wins together, and now they're chasing a Conference League spot at the very least next season. And
Brentford, fucking crazy,
Yeah. I watched extended highlights of their 2-2 draw with Wolves. It's like, oh look, football can be entertaining.
That'd be ridiculous.
Football can have highlights.
Talking about VAR fuck ups, they love to get involved VAR, but then didn't get involved for, was it Wolves' first goal? There's a goal in there anyway where there's a clear pass back. The goalkeeper picks up a pass back, and then they build out from the back of the score. They're just like,
oh really? I didn't see that.
Goalie just picked up a pass back. I think it might have been Wolves' first goal.
I'll tell you the other one this weekend, which should have gone to VAR. Who's the little virgin lad who rolled the ball into the empty net? Arsenal.
Max Dowman.
Have a look. Arsenal sub, 1 foot on the pitch, whilst the ball's in play.
Call it back.
Is that Arteta? Arteta's always on the pitch.
No, it's not. I don't know if it's a member of staff. It's somebody in Arsenal fatigues. Definitely got 1 foot on the pitch before that ball's in the net. I hate to be the stickler. Null and void.
Oh, the VAR panel the other day or yesterday said that Arsenal should have Brighton should have had a penalty against Arsenal in Arsenal's recent 1-0 win at Brighton. And it's the 3rd time this season that panel has said that there should have been a penalty against Arsenal that wasn't given in a game that Arsenal's won by 1 goal. So the Premier League definitely weren't joking when they were saying they want to see different winners of the league every season. Just try to just hand it to Arsenal at the moment. But yeah, crazy. Because that is the gap, right? The gap's 9 points. I think City have a game in hand. So those other 3 penalties there, they all go in. That's 6 points that Arsenal don't have.
Little asterisk on the league title this year.
Yeah, I think that there's a bunch of asterisks on Man City titles, to be fair. So
115.
Yeah. Did you see Domino's talking about how many pizzas they've sold since the charges against Man City were brought up?
What a metric.
Yeah. Felt like just complete unnecessary abuse from Domino's towards Man City, but made me chuckle. Right. I have no idea what we're going to do for the next few weeks when we've got no games. So I'm going to try and do Conference League Chronicles for Larnaca away, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But then we've got, 2 weeks without games. What are we going to do? Should we brainstorm it now?
No games for 3 weeks. I mean, that's just incomprehensible.
So I'm not
saying I'm upset about it. I'm just saying it's incomprehensible.
If we win against Larnaca, our next game is Conference League in 3 Thursdays time at home at Selhurst. Then we play Newcastle on that weekend. So if we go out against Larnaca, it'll be 23 days to our next game, and we'll play Newcastle on the Saturday. But obviously, if we get through, it will be moved to the Sunday, I imagine.
Wow. Looking forward to a Saturday kickoff. Be nice.
Yeah. Didn't even talk about the attendance for the Leeds game.
Oh, a lot of empty seats.
Lot of empty seats.
Mother's Day,
including mine.
taking its toll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at least the weather was better.
It was funny. There was a advertisement on the big screen saying can't make the next match, like doing a ticket resale thing, like send the tickets back in, we can sell them for you. But it was a picture of Adam Wharton who wasn't playing. This doesn't seem quite right.
One thing that we didn't mention, and I'm going to shoehorn it in very, very quickly, because you and I both noticed it at half-time, were people walking down the, what they call, like the walkways between blocks. What the fuck are they called?
Stairs?
Yeah, let's just say stairs.
Gangways.
Aisles?
You know what I mean? Aisles, you know what I mean. Walking down with like little trays of club merch. One of whom was wearing a replica FA Cup winners medal, I think, with a card reader. So they're now doing that sort of American thing of walking around, well, it's at half time, but during the game, trying to get you to buy stuff. And I don't like it. But I did catch a free T-shirt that they did the cannon into the crowd of air.
Did you?
Yeah, and I gave it away to my mate's son because I'm nice.
Didn't fit.
And would have been a crop top. I don't think anyone needs that.
Was this the crystals firing it out of a cannon?
Yeah. They don't normally get to row 12, to be honest. When they come towards us, they usually chuck it in row 2. So I was quite happy. But yeah, like
it's American football. They've been practicing.
yeah, quarterbacking it. But yeah, I don't like all that selling merch halftime shit personally. But log that alongside the flag wavers.
It's one way how they can get the legacy fans to provide more money instead of having to sell tickets at 80 quid a time to people that spend 500 quid in the club shop.
Did you get the points?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
I don't get half the points I should get normally.
Also just at the bar, it's just like they never ask you, do you have a season ticket? Like, do you have a membership you want to be scanning? It's always like, oh, let me just avoid that trap. I was like, I want the points.
Give me the points.
Yeah, my son's membership needs the points.
Ellis needs a ticket to Larnaca. Come on.
He's bought a lot of beers recently, Ellis. I don't know. But yeah, so Conference League Chronicles will be next. Then we'll try and figure something out. See if there's anything we should do. Might be some emergency pods if we don't beat Larnaca.
Stop it.
Look how excited he is. Oh. Yeah. My wonder box is opening.
Oh, speak for yourself.
Right. Thanks everyone for listening. If you're listening on your flight to Cyprus, have a great time. I hear the weather's going to be shit, but that's not going to dampen our spirits. We're going to have a great time all the way up until 7:45 local time when the game kicks off.
Correct.
And then it'll be biting our fingernails down to the knuckles, but hopefully coming away with a win.
What, in anticipation of whether you're going to make it home or not?
I can't miss an afternoon flight. That surely cannot happen.
Speaking of, I better go and pack.
That will be wise.
Yeah. It's
Brilliant.
now 11:15 and I need to pack and go to bed.
Okay. Thanks to everyone for listening, and until next time, up the Palace.
Hi, this is Pablo Torre from Pablo Torre Finds Out, and today I want to talk to you about Boost Mobile. Because we spend a lot of time analyzing inefficiencies in sports, overvalued contracts, money tied up in the wrong places, and so on. But those inefficiencies aren't just on a roster. Sometimes they're in your own monthly expenses. Boost Mobile says switching to their $25 unlimited forever plan can unlock up to $600 in savings a year. That's $25 a month for unlimited data, talk, and text when you bring your own phone. If that money is trapped in a pricey phone bill, it might be worth a second look. Visit boostmobile.com to learn more. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers pay $25 per month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. Savings claim based on a January 2026 Boost Mobile survey of 1,000 Americans with single-line unlimited plans, comparing average annual payments of major carriers to 12 months on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
Over 90 of the top 100 U.S. accounting firms trust Bill to handle bill pay processes. Why? Because our tools are built on over $1 trillion of secure payments. We're not just moving money. We're powering financial workflows for 500,000 customers. That's a level of expertise you just can't fake. Ready to talk with an expert? Visit Bill.com/proven to get started and grab a $250 gift card as a thank you. Terms and conditions apply. See offer page for details.